Welcome to Community Corner on 94.5 Praise, a program where we discuss the topics affecting the Low Country, but also programs and organizations making positive changes in our community. Today, we are privileged to have as our guest on Community Corner the senior Marine instructor at the Whale Branch Early College High School in the person of Major Marvin Goodwin. He is in his third year as the senior Marine instructor and has done an outstanding job with the JROTC program at the Whale Branch Early College High School. And we say to you, welcome, Major Goodwin.
Thank you, Reverend Moore.
It is indeed good to have you here. Tell us, if you will, about what the JROTC program is at the Whale Branch Early College High School and what it is in general in the United States.
Yes, sir. At Whale Branch Early College High School, our JROT program is designed to help students gain confidence and respect for others and to gain a sense of general leadership and responsibility within the community in which they live.
You know, as I think about that, throughout the nation, the JROTC programs exist. There are some that are Air Force and Navy and Marines, and so when they were bringing on and about to open up the Whale Branch Early College High School, I was a great proponent of that JROTC program being a Marine program, and so and everybody who knew me knew why, because I am just partial to Marines. But really, it is not us actually trying to get a young person in a particular service. It is more that we are trying to develop young people who are responsible and actually mature and trying to get them to be better citizens. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Just building them up and actually letting them know that not only being a part of a JROTC program, but also letting them know that education is their passport to the future. You actually hit the nail on the head for us, because I always say to young people that if you got God and you know God and have a relationship with Him and you have an education, no one can hold you down, because on the spiritual side, we know that if we have a relationship with God through the finished work that Jesus Christ has done on the cross, then spiritually we are well taken care of, and the Spirit of God abide in us. And if you are educated, no one can take the education that a person receives. It cannot be taken away. And so you all do, I think, a wonderful job with the young people who are assigned in the Whale Branch cluster. It is just a great addition to have the Early College High School and the Junior ROTC there at that school. That school is amazing in what it is providing for young people, and the JROTC is a huge part of what the school produces. And so I wanted to highlight in this section actually some of the bright spots and main things that a young person will get out of the JROTC program. So if you will, you told us what you want to foster, but if there was a young up-and-coming freshman coming into the Whale Branch Early College High School, what would you tell them about the positive aspects and how they would benefit in joining the JROTC? With joining the JROTC program for any of our young person, it's not a recruiting tool for our military.
it's just the building a foundation for life. Those things that they would actually gain from the program, they'll gain that sense of confidence. They'll gain that leadership, and that's what basically our program is a leadership education program. And I tell a lot of the young people that I encounter, I'm like, hey, if you want to be a leader within your community, if you want to have that self-esteem about yourself, hey, join the JROTC program, and we'll help to foster that. Not only that, but we'll actually help you out if one of our cadets would actually wanted to go further themselves in college. We actually have our curriculum, which deals with helping them to get accepted into college and letting them know what's behind or what it entails. And also, if they wanted to go in the military, myself and Sergeant Major Farr, we have over 50 years of service within our military. So we actually help them to decide on what military occupational specialty that they want to actually go into, and we help shape where they want to go into. But our program here, we also have marksmanship program within our JROTC program. We also have this year we're going to bring something new. We're going to bring a cyber STEM program to our school. Basically, what they'll be learning is more of the cyber technology, and we're going to actually compete with other schools around the nation with that program that we're going to bring to Whale Branch Early College High School this year.
That is absolutely amazing. Cyber STEM at the Whale Branch Early College High School. Tell us the benefit of that.
With the cyber STEM, that's one of the newest technologies that we have for our nation, and that cyber STEM will actually help to gain or give them the experience and the knowledge of what our country is actually going to, because that's fairly new to our military.
Many people don't realize that there is actually a cyber command in the military now, to where people deal with, the issue of, we know it was through cyber that the intrusion into our election system was actually done, if you will. And so that is a big aspect of life in society and the military, and so we might as well prepare our young people to go into it, get educated, and be abreast of it. There is, you talked about, we want to take a young person and prepare them for life in society, and then you transition and say, if they desire a career in the military, to go into the military, then you assist them in that process also. And I want to talk just a little bit about that, because I have been thoroughly impressed on the way you all actually assist a student dependent upon the path that they choose to go into after graduation. We've got some young people out of the Whale Branch Early College High School that are in several different colleges that came out of JROTC. And specifically, even in the Citadel, we've got young people. And so tell us about that, if you will.
Yes, we have about four of our former cadets who are now at the Citadel, and they're actually being that we're early college high school. Many of them that was at our high school, they, like, for instance, we had one, Miss Brooke Everly. She graduated in 2016, and currently she's considered to be a senior at the Citadel, a senior in college at the Citadel. And that is because at Well Branch Early College High School, we provide them an opportunity to get their associate's degree. And that actually helped to prepare her career with us over at the Citadel.
So she really being considered a senior. I mean, she just got indoctrinated into the program, if you will. But because she's considered a senior, she really, in theory, could go and put 2 more years in, obtain a master's degree, and if she chose to go in the military, she could go into the military with a master's degree and a lieutenant in the Marine Corps or the Army or the Air Force or whatever. Am I correct?
Yes, you're absolutely correct. And we have some of our students that are actually going through. We also had a Mr. David Mitchell. He's up in Washington, D.C. right now with the Citadel, who's going through an internship with our state representative.
I spoke to him earlier this year. And now, those of you who have not yet met David, this guy is up and coming, and I am absolutely convinced, should he choose to stay in the military, he is one day going to be a general, whether it's in the Marine Corps, the Army, the Air Force. But he was impressive as a sophomore in high school. He got my attention because he just looked like a leader and an officer in the military. And so now he's been picked up for this program and is up in D.C. And I just believe that there is great things in his future because he is so grounded, and you all prepared him well, you all as well as his parent. It was a blessing to be able to meet his mother and to see what they have done in preparing him, and to congratulate her on having actually raised a son that is so teachable, if you will, and so well grounded. So we just wish him well, and it just goes to show you that great things really are happening at the Early College High School.
Yes, we have some of the best and brightest that Beaufort has to offer. And we also want to just basically give them opportunities to develop and grow as young people, because they're our future.
They are. And it is at the Well Branch Early College High School where you can readily see that really, this thing whereby we in society, we have relegated children to whatever their circumstances were, in life, where we in society, we say, well, he comes from poverty, or she comes out of a single parent household or whatever. And so therefore, that's the way they are. Not so in the Well Branch cluster. We believe that every child has a bright future, and every child really can obtain greatness if we support them and encourage them and guide them in the right direction. And that's what you all are doing, and I think you do it exceptionally well. And so we just thank you all for the effort that you are putting into developing our young people, because our future actually depend upon it, whether it is in the military, or whether it's in the medical field, or in education. Young people can do all of those things because they are indeed brilliant. Would you say?
Yes, our kids are definitely brilliant, and they go above and beyond. This year alone, our program, we had We had, for our drill team, we had over 40 plus students in the JROTC program drill team, and they had over a 3.0 GPA. And that's one of the key things that we focus on, is making sure that they know where they stand at within their class, within their community, knowing where they stand at and where they could actually go, because those are the things that's going to count when they actually move forward out of high school.
Wow. Over 40 young people with in your JROTC with a grade point average of 4.0 or high. Is that, did I hear you say that? Or 3.0?
3.0.
3.0 or high.
And many of those were that were on the border were actually striving for more. They would come to me on a day-to-day basis and, "Oh, sir, I have a 2.98. No, hey, you haven't met that threshold of 3.0, and they were actually moving forward, with that in order to increase their GPAs and their scores, just to meet the standards.
What I just heard you say, and I'm reading between the lines, is what I have always believed is important in dealing with young people. And when you say that you have set the standard and the goal is 3.0, that the young person who come to you and say, "I've got a 2.99 or whatever," your response to that is you still didn't make the standard, and so you just got to try harder. You are not lowering the standard. You are simply reinforcing that this is the standard, and you encourage them and will assist them in making the standard, but you're not going to lower it. Did I hear you correctly?
Yes, we definitely won't lower it. We want to actually, teach them about goals and setting those goals and reaching those milestones, not only in high school, but just in life, and we bring those real life classes and things that we actually teach as far as our curriculum to the student, and not only fostering them by helping them to get to that point, but have them be individual thinkers so that they can think outside the box and move toward whatever goal that they set in life.
If I could say anything to educators and or people who deal with young people in general, I don't know whether most of you realize that Major Goodwin is a retired Marine Corps major. He came into the Marine Corps and was enlisted, went up the enlisted ranks, and then went over and became an officer and went up the ranks to major, and then he retired, I believe, about 4 years ago. 4 years ago, yes. He retired. But what you just heard is a reflection of the leadership that he displays. And I would say to any educator, if you adopt that attitude in dealing with youth, what you would be doing is you would be teaching them that society does not yield to, a person's lack of applying themselves. That whatever the standard is in society, you either meet it or you don't. And so we might as well start with them early on with compassion. We start with them and we teach them how to actually reach the goal rather than allowing them to get away with things that we know is unacceptable in society. And so what I say to you, sir, is we greatly appreciate you displaying the leadership that you do with our young people, and that is not without compassion, but you have great compassion with them. You just do not lower the standards with them, and I think that is absolutely imperative as we teach our young people and prepare them for society. What else do you want to impart to us about that great program that you head up at the Whale Branch Early College High School?
I just want everyone to know that we have over at the high school, we have a bunch of great students within our program. We not only deal with the program within our community, we are actually do outreach within the community. We've done different ceremonies and different programs for our community. We just did one recently. We did one for the Beaufort County Rehabilitation Services, which we went out and we actually embarked upon a retirement of Old Glory, of our nation's flag. And the ones that were going through with their program, they actually really enjoyed those young people coming out and actually doing something for them at the rehabilitation program.
You, as I speak to you, and I think the audience can tell that you really do have a passion for young people. And I will tell you that he has such a passion for young people that Major Goodwin is also a deacon in Mount Carmel and at Mount Carmel, of which he actually heads up our youth department. And so by the time you hear this program, we will have over 75 young people that we are taking on their annual trip up to Washington, D.C., and they are going to go and see the African Museum that is up in D.C. and do some other things. And so tell us about your preparation for that and all of those things. This guy is also one of the most detailed people that I've seen anywhere. But just tell us about that trip, if you will.
Yes, we're planning to take the 75 youth up to Washington, D.C., so that they can have an opportunity of knowing where they came from when they go to the African American Museum. And it's going to be full of just a week's worth of youth and educational things. They'll also have an opportunity to go by the U.S. Mint to see where their currency is actually made, and also they have an opportunity to go to see some of the monuments up in Washington, D.C. Plus, I think the one of the biggest things that they'll have an opportunity to do is actually see our nation's capital, because many of the youth, they haven't had an opportunity to get outside of Beaufort, yet alone to experience a trip like going to Washington, D.C. And that's what we want to embark upon all of our youth, is to let them know that, hey, just because you're in that environment where you're at now doesn't mean that there's not a big world outside of that. And as long as they know that there's something that's out there for them other than being here, hey, the world is theirs.
You are also a native of South Carolina, aren't you?
Yes, I'm a native of South Carolina. I'm from actually Columbia, South Carolina. And being there, even though it's the capital city, hey, I still had an opportunity to actually get outside of that city and see the world through my military ventures. But coming from humble beginnings, it's always great to have someone to actually foster the need and to actually get out and see more of the world.
That the trip that you talked about, it is probably going to be about 80% of education, whereby we're going to spend 2 days in the African American Museum, and one day we are going to go to the Capitol and the Mint, as he said, and we are going to have our youth to actually engage at the Capitol, we hope, with Representative Clyburn, and so they can really get an education of what it means to be a citizen of this great country that we have. At Mount Carmel, we have an annual youth trip, and the requirements or in the planning of the trip is that it has got to be educational. We want it to be fun, but a huge component of that trip must be that it is educational. And then on the last day, we will come back and stop down at King's Dominion and let the children just have a great time at King's Dominion before we come back to Beaufort. And so, is there any closing comments that you have for us, sir, before we sign off?
Yes, I just wanted to let you know that our children are our future, and they're all what we actually embark and what we instill in them. Just continue to push your children to do great things, not only your children, but your friends' children, because it takes a village to raise children in these days.
You know, Major, we also want to say before we go, Major Goodwin's daughter graduated from high school and is actually now on active duty in the Air Force, Lauren. And so we salute you for the job that you've done with your children, but then the interest that you have in other children as well. As you have just stated, we admire your dedication and your love for God and for other people. And so we cannot express our appreciation enough for you and your family. You are still sacrificing and giving, and we want to thank you for the service that you have rendered to this country on active duty in the military, and for the service that you are still giving to our great nation in the church as well as in our schools. We thank you so much for everything that you do, and we just want you to know that we are proud of you and the service that you give. And so with that in mind, we will say that we have absolutely been blessed by having Major Marvin Goodwin here with us today, who is the Marine Senior Instructor of the JROTC program at the Whale Branch Early College High School, and who is also a deacon at Mount Carmel and the leader of our youth department. We say to you, sir, we thank you and we pray God's blessing upon you. Thank you for joining us for Community Corner on 94.5 Praise. And don't forget to join us every Thursday at 7 o'clock for the latest in community programs and highlights. If you want more information on today's topics or guests, you can find it on our website at praise945.com. May the peace and blessings of the Lord be yours.